Hi everyone, and welcome to a navigation video for my course. Typically I put together a course navigation video for my students, but since my course isn't ready to go active yet, I have yet to update that link. But this is pretty much what students see when they log into the learning management system, which is a desired to learn setup, but we call it Beachboard because we're super fancy apparently. But pretty much we have the welcome message that has any of the introductory videos, so students have quick links to each of those and they can review them at will throughout the semester. I also have my Start Here widget that has links to the Get Started checklist. The course syllabus has any due dates that are potentially important for students, as well as a note that they have to finish this checklist before they can access any other course materials. I also have a calendar widget that populates any due dates, start dates, or end dates that I insert for certain assignments or quizzes. And they have the option to view as many as they like. My instructor contact information is located underneath that, as well as a bio with a picture. And then news announcements are listed underneath the Start Here widget. So what I tell them usually in the course navigation video is that they are able to collapse the widget so that way they can see course announcements right away when they log in. Further down, I have student resources that are kind of quick links to the major resources that our campus offers. And at the very bottom, I also have a widget for accessibility related items. So accessibility policy statement, any accessibility things related to Beachboard, etc. So this is all on the course homepage. Content is where students will probably be working the most. So in my overview tab, I've got the course syllabus and a layout of the schedule, which is also included in the course syllabus. They have a table of contents. This is just basically giving them anything that I've put in the course so far, which can be a little bit overwhelming. So usually I tell them click on the tab that is applicable for the week. My Start Here, this is linked in the beginning of the course in the Start Here widget, but this is the checklist. And checklists are something that I implement a lot in my courses, just so students are able to like check a box and say like, oh, I did this, and then they can see their progress as they go. And I usually have kind of headliners on like, this is the main verb that describes the task they should be doing, in addition to any more like specific things that they should be doing, and any applicable links that they might need to use. So sometimes these are external links to YouTube, other times they are internal links to components that are already included in the course. If I go back to content, I have course surveys listed. I usually give one at the beginning and the end of the semester. Online meetings, so we have any meeting passwords or links. The virtual office provides links to Zoom office hours, as well as the student lounge discussion board where students can ask each other questions. And then I also have a general Q&A discussion board if there are any questions for me that don't include personal information or discussion of grades or anything like that. I also have a tab for studying resources. I haven't updated this information quite yet, but I usually have flowcharts and study guides that are linked to each of the 3 major exams that the students take in the class. And then on a weekly basis, they have their modules listed, the start and end dates of that module, any of the module learning outcomes, how they're aligned with the course learning outcomes, and then I have the CLOs listed again just in case they feel like reading that. And then I also like to create a table that kind of outlines the graded assignments that are being completed for the week and how those graded assignments are contributing to the final course grade. My course is a set up on a weighted grading system, so I put the weighted percent of their final grade that they are working towards in that week. And then underneath that, I've got typically the checklist is the first thing that they will see. And then again, I have to update links to everything as I'm still working on stuff over the summer, but it's for the most part pretty much the same as the Get Started checklist, so they can click on boxes as they complete items. And then back in the Module 1 content section, just for an example, I link their assessments. So this is grayed out because I have certain accessibility dates listed on here. But basically they have quick links to Dropbox to submit their activities, a quick link to the quiz for the week, and then I typically will provide supplemental materials. This could be links to external websites, additional videos that I make that go over practice problems in the lectures, or I also have kind of a baby study guide for each module that outlines key terms and concepts that they should be familiar with if they want to use that as a study resource. So pretty much each module just gets added to this area, so they can click. And then at the bottom I have more resources which are just repeated from the ones that are on the home page if they need to access those. Grades, they can check on through the grading tab, and they view it as categories, so they can see the setup in the gradebook. None of these items are visible because they are released. So if I go to my instructor version, all of these items will show up as students complete them. So they have pretty much easy access to kind of view all of the grading items that are in here. But they are separated by certain categories, so it's pretty easy to navigate through that. I also have a Dropbox tab, so they can see what activities they have submitted. Usually in the completion status area, it'll say how many submissions they have, evaluation status, and score will show up when I post a score, and feedback. So usually they get a link to feedback here. But any of the availability dates they can note in Dropbox, and this is what is directly linked to each module. For quizzes, it's pretty much the same setup. These are listed as future quizzes because they haven't happened yet, but they can see how many of their attempts they've utilized, and then if I click in any of these quizzes, there are instructions or an introduction that will pop up when they actually start the quiz, but quiz period isn't started for me, so I can't show that. I also provide a class list link. No one is enrolled in my shell, but typically students will have a list of everybody in the course as well as what their role is in the course, and they can easily email their peers or they can email myself through the class list. Discussions, the only ones that I currently have which are not open, so I can show you my course from last semester, which are also not open. But pretty much the discussions, all that I have in there currently is my, oh, well, I guess, oh, it's because I'm viewing it as a student. Pretty much all that's in the discussion section are the two links that I have already talked about, so the student lounge as well as the questions for the instructor. Additionally, I like to have another support link that takes them to the IT help desk. They can look at different campus computer labs if they need additional student support with Beachboard. And then I also have a new tab for rubrics, which I will be updating over the course of the summer. So that's pretty much how I would have students navigate. Additionally, I typically will show them how to update their profile, like adding a picture, how they can set up notifications if they want email or text notifications on when certain course content is updated in the LMS, and then any other account settings that they can set up based on their active courses and what information they want from each of those.